The number one sector you need to short in the coming years under the Trump presidency is solar. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. In the past weeks, we haven't talked much about shorting the market, sectors, or certain individual stocks for good reason. In the stock market, we saw the Trump pump, and in the commodity market, we talked about uranium and the precious metals, which is a play on the long side as well. And obviously, in the crypto sector, well, Bitcoin just a rocket ship. But there's always money to be made on the short side as well. And there's one sector that is just ripe for short profits under the Trump presidency, and that is solar. Because here we have the full political support of Washington. Because Trump hates ESG. He hates green energy. He loves fossil fuels. He likes uranium. And with him in the White House and the Republicans controlling House and Senate, we can be certain that the politics will absolutely be against solar and green energy. Let's look at the charts. This here is the Invesco Solar ETF called TON. It's the benchmark investment for the solar sector. And look at this chart. It's just brutal. An absolute bloodbath already for the past years. Since 2021, it has basically collapsed 75%. The golden solar days are over, and now you can basically turn off the light after the Trump presidency. How can I know this? Sorry, after the Trump election and the upcoming Trump presidency. Well, look at this gap down and sell off right after the election day on November 5th. Gap down, crash down, new 2-year low in the solar ETF. That tells you everything you need to know about what the market thinks is going to happen. And this is the important part, right? Yes, Trump has already said that subsidies will be cut, but states like California, for example, we can be pretty certain they will do their own subsidy programs to offset this, but that's not the point. The point is there'll be negative political news flow, and the perception in the stock market will be that solar is finished. Now, this is the important point. If we look at the chart of TON, down 75% in the past 3 years almost, a lot of people say, well, I can't short this now. It is already down 75%. I missed everything. No, you didn't. There's still attractive short possibility here. Look at this. We're reaching the support zone right here. But if you look under it, there's a big air pocket up to this double support zone that states from the ultra long-term uptrend. Let me go to the monthly here for you to show you this. The ultra long-term uptrend from 2012. Here we go. And the horizontal support, which goes back to the same year. They converge right here. So this is a major draw for the stock price and a super support zone. There, I would definitely cover my shorts. I mean, I wouldn't go long in the solar sector, but with a support like this, if you get a bottoming signal, okay. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Right now, we're talking about the short possibilities. So the short possibilities are certainly here. Now, short term, we are clearly oversold and we are into the first major support zone. We see the RSI is under 50, which sell signal, but it is so far down, it's about 35, so that's getting close to oversold territory. And as you can see here, if you look at the RSI down here, we reached a territory where in the past we have responded and seen short-term relief rallies in the TON ETF. Right here, low around 37, relief rally. Here, relief rally. Here, relief rally. Here, relief rally. Same here. This one, only a short one, but you see the point. So, the way we want to play this is we want to wait for the relief rallies and then short into strength. How far can a relief rally go? Well, the first price point, there's an open gap right here around 37.25-ish, and we reach this resistance zone here. That would be obviously the first level of the relief rally, and if things go really positive, short squeeze coming, we might close this gap, but that's as high as I can see this go. There's no reason for it to go higher fundamentally. Remember, this here, all this is Biden government, and it still went down. Now we have Trump in power, we have the Republicans in power. How would the fundamental situation become any better, which means that would justify prices over 42 US dollars in the Invesco Solar ETF? It doesn't. And if we look at individual stocks, the majority of them look just as bad, except one stock that we'll talk about in a second. Now let's talk about Enphase. Brutal. Look at this. Down from around 338 down to 61 in about 2 years. That is just brutal. And we have the same setup, as you can see. Support zone, even worse, it's already at the lower end of the support zone. The TON at least is at the upper end. If it breaks it, air pocket to the second support zone. Again, we look at the RSI, we see here it's clearly oversold, close to triggering a buy signal. Let's expect a short-term relief rally. Now, why are we not buying the relief rally? Well, you do not want to go against a trend as powerful as this is. One of the things that people don't understand when shorting stocks is you can do the exact same trend following concepts on the downside that you use on the upside. When we talk about bull market and buying stocks, people are always eager to point out, I do trend following, I don't mind buying the stocks of good companies that are going up because they're going to do well in the earnings, and therefore the valuation's not going to go up as much when the share price goes up. Well, the same is true for the downside if you have a sector or a company where there are severe fundamental problems. And look at Enphase. For 4 quarters in a row, they missed earnings estimates. And this goes for the solar sector overall, right? It's in bad shape. So that means, yes, the prices are going down, but if the earnings are going down, if the business models are broken, then the valuations are not going down as fast. So the stocks are still expensive. You see the point? Share price goes down, but on the other hand, the earnings go down as well. The businesses are not doing well. Revenues are not growing as fast. So the valuations stay high even though the prices are going down. And this is how Wall Street invests on the short side. They love to find the sectors that are broken. They love to find the companies that have fundamental problems. And then they just short them and just pound them. Why? Because they know if the prices keep going down, A, the trend following people will keep shorting them. B, that the stocks are still expensive. So where would the major downside move for the ton ETF, the solar ETF, come from? And this is the answer: first solar. Now, if we look at it for the past 2 years, we got to say that is a good looking chart and an excellent looking chart for a solar stock. We got higher highs, we got higher lows. But if we go to the weekly and we zoom out long term, look what we have here. We are forming a long-term double top. This looks really, really nasty on the weekly already. And what we also see is that we have this major support zone here. This goes all the way back to 2007. And we have this uptrend long-term channel that First Solar broke out of, which started the recent up move. So basically, when we break this uptrend, First Solar will very likely go all the way down to around $125, which is the upper end of the support zone right here. What does that mean? That means we're not shorting this right now. We are waiting till it breaks the uptrend, and even better if it drops below this last support zone right here. So you probably can get in around 170, 169. And that will be quite an attractive price point because you can ride it all the way down to 125. And First Solar is the number one holding in the ton ETF with about a 10%. It makes up about 10% of the whole ETF. So if First Solar drops down significantly, it'll drag down the solar ETF with it. And that is where the downside potential for the solar ETF comes from. There's money to be made on the upside, there's money to be made on the short side. That's the beauty of being a swing trader. The number one sector to short in the coming years under Trump will be solar. Tomorrow I'll be in Frankfurt, Germany at the German Gold Convention. If some of you are there, happen to be there, just come up to me. Let's talk about the precious metals, the gold, upcoming gold bull market and mining. And I will see you with the video tomorrow and maybe even Friday if I can squeeze it in from the Gold Convention. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.